Maranatha, my PBC family and friends. Pastor Brian here with another quick bite, living the word. Today our word is going to come from 1 Corinthians chapter 4. And when we get there, what I want to look at and what I want to talk about this morning together is the idea here. I hear a lot of people all the time talking about, you can't judge me. You shouldn't judge me. Don't judge me. And I agree with those words, by the way. But doesn't mean we can't be fruit inspectors. We've been down that road before. I don't want to necessarily go down that road this morning. What's interesting to me, though, is most people who come out with that heart attitude are coming out in defense of their sin, in defense of their wrongness, in defense of something that they're doing incorrect. Well, don't judge me. That's fine. You don't have to be judged of me. Matter of fact, I'm not going to be judged of me. But you will and I will be judged. And this is the thing that I think we don't recognize. I think the thing that we need to really recognize and take hold of and grasp a hold of is the fact that we will give an account one day. But what I want to look at in particular in the idea of judging here comes from 1 Corinthians chapter 4. And let's just pick it up there at we'll pick it up at verse 1 and we'll read all the way down through verse 4, okay? It says this. The apostle writing to us says, "Let a man so account of us, as of the ministers of Christ and stewards of the mysteries of God." I love this. Apostle Paul is saying, listen, let people look at us as what? Ministers of Christ. Don't judge us on any other aspect but as ministers of Christ. Now this is pretty awesome because we should be willing to be, as Paul was, let men judge us as ministers of Christ. But look what it says, and stewards of the mysteries of God. Verse 2, moreover, it is required in stewards. So there's a requirement for those who are going to be stewards of the mysteries of God, the manifold mysteries of God, the grace of God, the gospel of Jesus Christ, that a man be found faithful. See, if they were to judge you as a minister of Christ, would you be found faithful? If men were going to judge you as a minister of Jesus Christ, would you be found faithful? Well, now you go, well, men don't get to judge me. Well, you're right. Let's go on. Verse 3. But with me it is a very small thing that I should be judged of you, or of a man's judgment. Yea, I judge not my own self, for I know nothing by myself, yet I am not hereby justified. But he that judgeth me is the Lord. See, here's the point. We should be willing to be judged of the Lord. Are we going to be good stewards? Are we going to be faithful stewards according to the Lord? Are we going to be good ministers of Jesus Christ in accordance to the Lord? Because we will stand before him and we will be judged of him. All that we've done, all that we've said, how we behaved ourselves, how we conducted ourselves, it will be judged of God. So yeah, you might get away with not getting judged by men right now. You might get away with not being judged by your neighbor and by yourself. But the point of the matter is that you will be judged. So, we're focused on being judged by the Lord. I know that sounds weird to say. The fact that we're going to give an account to Jesus Christ one day. The fact that we're going to stand before him and we have to go, Lord, this is what I did with the grace that you gave me. With the gospel you entrusted to me. This is what I've done with it. Are you going to be counted as a minister of Christ? Or are you going to be counted as a, well, for lack of better terms, a unwise and unfaithful steward? We could turn to the Gospel of Matthew and look at what he says to the stewards who he gave stuff, parts of his home to, and parts of the gospel to, things that he trusted them to. And he says, what? Take away from he that was not and give to the one that was. I want to be that one, rather that hears, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou was what? Thou was charged with little. I'm paraphrasing here, right? Now enter into the rest of your king. This is the point, guys. Well done, thou good and faithful steward. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. We're going to be judged of God. And we want to be judged even now of God. God, let me be a minister of Christ today. Not tomorrow. Oh, I'll get to it tomorrow. Not a week from now. Now. Right now. Let the world look at my life. Let the men account me as a minister of Christ. Because I'm not doing it for men and for their judgment. I'm doing it for you, Lord, and your judgment. Because the love wherewith you loved us and the grace that you gave me. In your Son, Jesus Christ's name, right? We do it all. So, I hope this encourages you today. Let's go out there and be ministers of Christ. Let men be able to count us as ministers of Christ. And let us, if they should choose to judge us as ministers of Christ. Because we don't need their account or their approval. But there is one whose judgment and approval we're going to seek, and we should seek. And it is the Lord himself. So I hope this encourages you today. I love you. We love you. God loves you. And God's got this.